Hare Krishna, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. We are almost nearing the end of the series, but I have some nice announcements, or not announcements, but some things that we will just to share with you all. What we might do next, or what's next for you. So anyway, that will come later. Let us start with Mangalacharan prayers and we will continue. Okay. I think you can see the screen, isn't it? Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Somebody is saying no sound. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, nice. Okay, maybe they have some problem at their end. Okay, so we will continue with chapter 17. And let me start or share the whiteboard. So okay. All right. So we are on chapter 17. We covered 17.1. So chapter 17, and we did 17.1 last week. And that is basically Arjuna's question. And Arjun is asking a question that, so we concluded the 16th chapter with the importance of Shastra and following the Vidhi or the do's and don'ts in the Shastra. Shastra, the purpose is not for anything else, but the main purpose is for education. What to do, what not to do, to give us practical advice and guidance in our lives. That is the purpose of Shastra. So Arjun is asking a question. There are many people who do things in a very committed manner, in a very dedicated manner, but not according to Shastra. So what happens to them? And we had a significant discussion on what it means to do something with Shraddha. That is the word that is used in 7.1, with Shraddha, but Shastra with him, Utsrijya. Utsrijya means give up or abandon or reject or don't follow. And even if reject means you know and you gave up, but you may not even know, you don't care. So, but they are, yajante shraddhayanvitaha, with lot of dedication, commitment. They are doing whatever they are doing. What kind of people are they? Why do they do? And what is their faith, etc.? That is what Arjuna is asking. So Lord Krishna begins to answer. The rest of the chapter is answer to this question. So we will start with 17.2. So verse numbers 2 and 17.3, they are basically showing the relationship of one's faith with one's mode or guna. So this is the three modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. There are the three modes. And one's faith means what one believes. So his belief system, his ideals and principles, that's what faith means. I live my life by these principles, by these ideals, by these in this Shraddha. So Lord Krishna is going to first establish this relationship between these 2 points. So let us see what Lord Krishna says in 17.2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrinuh. So what is Lord Krishna saying? That Trividha Bhavati Shraddha, that Shraddha is of 3 types. Trividha Bhavati Shraddha. These things are of 3 types. And Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja. And it is according to the Dehi's Swabhava. So that is the point. And so very important point, Dehinam Swabhava. So Dehi's Swabhav, they are based on Dehi's Swabhava. Okay. So, and they are, the 3 types are the following: Satviki, Rajasi, Chaiva, Tamasi, Cheti, Tam Shrudu. So they are the 3 types: Satviki, Rajasi, and Tamasi. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So that's the last 2 lines. So couple of important points. Please note here that Lord Krishna is mentioning it is based on Dehi's Swabhava. His Swabhav means his nature, or Swabhava. We all understand what is Swabhav. And Dehi, who is Dehi? Anybody can tell what is the meaning of Dehi?
With the body.
With
the body.
With the body. That's not very clear. Dehi means the resident of the body. One who is inside the Deha. Who is inside the Deha? The soul. Okay. So the soul is covered by the various modes. The soul has covering. So this is called a conditioned soul. Okay. The soul which has acquired certain swabhava, material swabhava, based on goodness, passion, and ignorance. So the main point, the point is that one's swabhava is obtained over a long time, over many lifetimes. Okay, so it is over many lifetimes that one obtains this swabhava. And that is the swabhava, because the Dehi is obtaining the conditioning from life to life to life. We are in a very advanced part of Bhagavad Gita. I hope you all understand what I'm saying. So over a very long time, many lifetimes, the Dehi has acquired this swabhava, and that swabhava gives one its belief system, its ideals, its principles, etc. and it could be one of three types. Broadly, there are very, very fine customization. It's very personal, but still it is in broadly three categories: sattva, rajas, and tamas. So I hope that is clear. Okay, 17.2. So the sort of the summary is, and I will give a more detailed summary in the next verse, that by association with the modes, one attains a certain nature. Okay. And this association is voluntary or by choice. It is not forced. What it means is that, i.e., it can be changed over time. Okay, so these are two additional points. Okay, so these two verses, 17.2 and 17.3, are all about association. Please try to understand this point. So if anywhere in Bhagavad Gita you are asked where is the significance of association, who you associate, there are other places also, but this is another important place. 17.2 to 17.3 is association, or the power of association, power or influence of association. I will put it in red color here. Okay, please pay attention. So what we associate with, whom we associate with, gives our nature. That is exactly what Lord Krishna is saying here. Trividha bhavati shraddha dehinam sa svabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shruno. That how by associating with these three types of modes, the dehi acquires the svabhava. That's all what he's saying. I have just reorganized that sentence in a different way from Sanskrit to English. That's what it is saying. Okay, so let us look at 17.3. Oops. 17.3. So you will see this point even more strongly. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddha mayoyam purusho yoyat shraddha cha eva saha. So the translation is, O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes acquired. Please keep yourself muted. Thanks. Okay. So, Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata, that one's faith evolves according to one's existence or one's association with the modes. So, as one spends more and more time in the modes, Sattvanurupa, according to one's association, according to one's spending time in the modes, sarvasya, all the people, shraddha bhavati bharata, his shraddha develops. And shraddha mayo ayam purusho yoyat shraddha sa eva saha. So that faith is itself evolving over time. That is what is being said. So the main point, let me give you the main point of this verse. So I will say the same thing, but in a slightly more elaborate way. Association with mode of goodness results in one's faith in mode of goodness. And again, when I say faith, it is one's principles, values, beliefs, morals, whatever it may be, and so on. That is faith. Similarly, association with mode of passion results in one's faith in mode of passion, and association with mode of ignorance results in one's faith in mode of ignorance. So basically, your association gives rise to your value system, your guiding principles. I'm saying the same thing, but slightly differently. So that is the point. So association is a very, very important point that I want to mention. And association does not mean just personal association in a one-on-one or in a sort of in-person manner. Association can also mean who you follow. Not many of you may have met Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, but by reading their books, or you are associating with them. So many people in Germany, Nazi Germany, got influenced by reading Hitler's Mein Kampf, and they didn't get a chance to ever associate personally in person with him, but they were influenced. Okay, so that is also called association. So basically, it means who you put your belief in, who you put your faith in. I want to follow this person. And just stop for a moment and consider in your life, who is your ideal? Who is your role model? We were one time doing a sort of just a introductory program at one time. And I asked the group that if you had the choice to meet somebody, whoever you want today, who would you meet? So one teenager boy was there in the group, and he said Jeff Bezos. I said, why? Oh, because he's very successful, he's very rich. He's gave 2-3 more reasons, created this big company. And at that time, he was the richest. Elon Musk was not the richest. Jeff Bezos was the richest. So, that's what one's belief system is, and, later on, you may find out that, he was cheating on his wife, or he did all these bad things. And who knows? I'm not saying that he is a bad person, but I'm just saying that it may be possible. When we put our faith in these worldly people, we are confused about who is our ideal. If we want to live our life according to Jeff Bezos or whoever it may be, Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or whoever these leaders may be, Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Narendra Modi, or there are so many people we can name. That is who we are putting our faith in. That is who we are getting our ideals, our belief systems from. So that is what Lord Krishna is saying. I'm giving sort of some little bit real life example or feeling of where you might how to understand this verse. So you can look at your own life and see who is your role model, and you can get an idea of is that person a shastric person, or is it shastra vidhim utsrijya? Giving up shastra vidhi, you are just taking the shelter or taking the making somebody who is not a person who is in the Vedic tradition, you are making him your ideal. So that is something you can think about. So that is what Lord Krishna is saying, that when you choose your ideals like this, that is what gives you your svabhava. Now, text number 17.4, who do they worship? Who do such people worship in the various modes? So worship is one aspect. Again, who do they keep as their role models? So this is a category, like I mentioned, Jeff Bezos, whatever, these are actual names of people who you know or who you have read about. Lord Krishna is going to give a general category in 17.4. Who are these people in whom you put your faith? Okay, ultimately everything, if it is not from Shastra, then it is coming from some person. Okay, Shastra is only the thing that came from the mouth of God. Everything else is coming from the mouth of some person or the other. So it is the person that you are talking about. So 17.4 is Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksha Rakshasi Rajasah Pretan Bhuta Gananschanye Yajante Tamasah Jana. So who do they worship? Yajante Satvika Devan. So Satvika, mode of goodness, Devas or the Devatas, demigods. So they themselves are in mode of goodness. Devatas are called in mode of goodness. Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa. So mode of passion, Rajasa. They are the Yakshas. They worship the Yakshas and Rakshasas. And Pretan Bhuta Ganamschanye Yajante Tamasah Jana. So Tamasa means mode of ignorance, Bhuta and Preta. Okay. So Bhuta and Pretas. So these are the people whom they worship. So you can say, oh, you know, today's people, where does Jeff Bezos, where does Elon Musk, where do they lie? I don't know where they lie. They are definitely not Devatas. Maybe they are in that category of Yakshas or Rakshasas, or who knows, depending on what they are doing behind the curtain. 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I need to. Okay. So who knows what they are doing behind the curtain? So you have to be very, very careful whom you choose as your ideals. And the best thing is to choose the demigods as our ideals. And when I say demigods, it doesn't mean Surya Dev, Chandra Dev. It means our acharyas, the devotee demigods, so to say. They are also demigods, or they are also at the same level as the demigods, or maybe even higher than them. They are devotees. So acharyas, devotees should be our ideal. Okay, but here is what Lord Krishna is saying. Let me see my notes and see something else I want to say or not. Okay. Yeah, more or less I have covered everything. Yeah, so there are so many people, you know, politicians, sports stars, Sachin Tendulkar, in America, you know, LeBron James, or what's that name of that guy who plays American football? Tom Brady, and all these, you know, can be people's ideals. And you will see behind the scenes, they do all kinds of things that are so, you know, that will take you down, because they have a lot of money, they have a lot of power, high connections with similar people. They can survive. If you follow them, you will not survive. You will go down. So don't make them your ideals. Make those people your ideals, which will take you through this material uh, ocean, this ocean of material existence. Otherwise, you know, they might survive in this life. They will also suffer in the next life. You will suffer even in this life. Okay, so be very careful. All right. Now, 17.5 and 17.6. So, what do these people do? just again, I'm explaining this in English words. Lord Krishna is saying the exact same thing in Sanskrit. So when we are worshipping these people, these yakshas, rakshasas, all these people, again, I'm using today's poster child is Jeff Bezos, but the point is all people like him, whether it is Jeff Bezos or any materialistic person who is running after sense gratification and is not aligned to spiritual progress. All such people, what are their categories or what do they do? That is being described in 17.6, 17.5 and 17.6, and why we should not follow them. So one point is, what do such materialistic ideals do and why we should not follow them. So that is being answered in 2 verses by Lord Krishna. So what they do, a shastra vihitam ghoram. So they are a shastra. They don't follow any shastric principles. Have you ever seen Jeff Bezos saying, whatever I'm doing, it is written in this shastra, here is a verse? Never. They just do whatever they want to do. They will go around with any woman. They will, do whatever, all kind of, I know some employees in Amazon, and they say that the working conditions are very bad in the packaging center. They have to stand for 8 hours. They get like, if they have to go to the bathroom, they have to go there's a time limit because it's running on a very clock speed. The packages are coming, you have to wrap it, tape it, whatever, it's running like a big machine, the whole factory. And people are like little small parts of a machine. So a small part of a machine cannot, has to be working perfectly, efficiently all the time. So working conditions are very harsh. So that is how they are making all the money. So ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante te tapojana dambhahankara samyukta kamaraga balanvita. So they are not following shastra. So that is first point. They do not follow shastra at all. Okay. And ashastra vihitam and ghoram, and they are harmful to others. Tapyante ye tapojana, and they undergo lot of personal austerities. Now here austerities doesn't mean good things or more spiritually austere. This is bodily austere. You will see they work 17 hours, 18 hours, and they expect everybody else to work that much. We have seen this in corporate life. Elon Musk says, if you want, you can sleep in my office, in the office. We will give you a comforter and a pillow, and keep working till you sleep. As soon as you get up, start working. So he's very happy that way, if you are living in the office itself. So like that, they undergo a lot of austerities. They make you undergo a lot of austerities as well. Dambha ahankara sanyukta. So they are doing this primarily they are full of dambha. We had covered this, dambha and ahankara. And they are full of dambha and ahankara, and they are doing it for that reason as well. Kamaraga balanvita, also full of kama. Kama means sense gratification. Raga means attachments. And bala means by the force of. So by the force of these things. So by the force of sense gratification and attachments, they are just basically, just completely impelled by, strong desires and strong, sense gratification and results for sense gratification. So you can see that many modern examples fit in this category. So many modern examples you can give day to day, look around you and you will find so many examples. Okay. Then 17.6. Karshayantah sharirastham bhutagramam acetasaha mam chaiva antah sharirastham tan vidya asuranishchayan. So what it means is that Karshayantah sharirastham bhutagramam acetasaha. So Karshayantah means to torment, to torture. Sharirastham, who is inside the sharira. The soul is inside the sharira. So another point is they torture the soul because the soul, they are making it run after sense gratification. The soul wants to be with God, but they are making it go for sense gratification. So soul is feeling tortured. Just whenever you have this example, take the example of that taxi cab driver. You want to go somewhere, taxi driver, you tell him, I want to go to the airport. He takes you to somewhere else, to, some other place, into a back alley where he will, show a gun and steal your money. So you feel tortured, you feel tormented. So the passenger is like the soul and the mind is like the corrupted taxi driver. So he's taking you wherever he wants, not where you want to go. So you feel tortured, you being the soul as the passenger in the taxi cab. Are you following? So they torture the soul. Okay. Bhuta grama achetasaha. Cheta means mind. We have studied cheta. Acheta means with an incorrect mind, with a wrong mentality. So they torture the soul with a wrong mentality. Okay. Then mam chaiva antah sharirastham. And mam, Lord Krishna is saying, I also get tortured. Sharirastham, I am also in the sharira. We have studied that so many times. In chapter 13, Lord Krishna says that I am also there in the body as Paramatma. So even the Paramatma is tortured. So now you can say, how can Paramatma be tortured? So it's like, Paramatma is not tortured, but disappointed. He's not tortured, but he's like a father. Like I send my kids to school. I expect them to study. I expect them to have good friends, become nice, good students, good citizens. But if they are, into drugs and all kind of other things, I'm not getting personally affected, but I'm getting very affected emotionally. As a father, I'm affected. I'm being tortured mentally. So Lord Krishna also loves us very much. And he is also tortured in that sense that his children are not following his instructions. They are doing their own thing and also harming themselves. Okay, don't talk to me. At least you live a good life. They are going towards hell. So obviously the father is tortured. And such people, tan vidhi asura nishchayan, such people are demoniac. So this is the demoniac nature of such people whom we make our ideals. So these are the 7 reasons given here that these materialistic ideals, this is what they do. And we very happily make them our ideal. We very happily put their big posters in our room and keep looking at them. Aha, I want to become like them. I want to follow their example. So that is how we will also become. That is how we get our svabhava, by constantly meditating on these people. If we meditate on Bhagawan or devotees of Bhagawan, we will become like them. But when we meditate on these people, we put these people's posters in the room. We put them as our phone, wallpaper, screen, whatever, this thing, whatever. And we put their quotations in our email signature or whatever, success is so and so, blah, 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 based on all materialistic tendencies. That is how our nature gets formed. That is what is being said. in this, so far in this chapter. And none of this is according to Shastra. None of this. All right?
Prabhuji, there is a question from me.
Hanji.
In the purport, and you also say that such people who do a lot of torturing himself, they are known as asuras. They are doing asura work. So how will you look about Gandhiji, who usually get fast for political reasons, and he is said to be a follower of Bhagavad Gita? So as a devotee, he was following Bhagavad Gita. So he's supposed to be a devotee of Bhagavad Gita, but he was doing so many fasts for political reasons. And in the purport, and you also say that they are asur. So how will you place him?
Yeah, so again, the question is about Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi is a great follower of Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Prabhupada had put his quotation on the back cover of Bhagavad Gita, which I have read so many times. So there is great respect, but so there is great respect for Mahatma Gandhi's appreciation and his dedication to Bhagavad Gita. So that's a nice question about Mahatma Gandhi's position with respect to this chapter. Okay. So the point is, what Lord Krishna is saying here, if you want to have spiritual aspirations, if you want to make spiritual progress, then you should not have these kind of tendencies. Correct? Mahatma Gandhi's objective, one of his objective, or his primary life's objective, till at least when India got independence from the British, was the independence of India. That is not a spiritual goal at all. It is a highly materialistic goal. It may be a very lofty goal, or it may be a mode of goodness goal to free the people, to release them from the oppression or the oppressive nature of the British government. And all those things are mode of goodness things, but they are still at a material level, not at a spiritual level. And therefore, the fasting and everything that Gandhiji was doing was to obtain a materialistic goal. Now we cannot, I don't want to say that he is asuric, but at least I can very confidently say that he is materialistic, maybe in the mode of goodness. I don't know where to kind of categorize him. But if you want to get an example of asuric austerity, you can take the example of Hiranyakashipu. And there are so many other people in modern history, I will give a few examples, who are very austere, but who are asuric. So what is Hiranyakashipu? He did severe austerity. Severe austerity. You probably know the story of Hiranyakashipu. But from the very beginning, his aim was to oppress everyone, especially the devatas, the devaganas. So that was the motivation. Motivation itself was asuric. Mahatma Gandhi's motivation was not asuric. It was in the mode of goodness to free the country from oppression. So, but both are material. One is more downgraded than the other. I don't want to say that freedom of India is a downgraded thing, but at least it is in the material realm, and therefore it is lower than a spiritual goal. I hope you are following this. Okay. So, but it is not Shastric. Shastra mein you will never see anything like, oh, Desh Bhakti should be the topmost. Krishna Bhakti is the topmost, not Desh Bhakti. Okay.
Actually, the question was because of he was a follower of Bhagavad Gita, and we are supposed to, he's supposed to be a devotee.
Yeah, but he did not. It is true. He's a great, let me correct that. He is a great scholar of Bhagavad Gita, and he used the principles of Bhagavad Gita for a material purpose. He did not use the principles of, personally, he may have used the Bhagavad Gita in his own life for spiritual purpose. But as a country, what the rest of the country sees him as was not that he is a great follower of Bhagavad Gita for a spiritual purpose. Not at all. There are no important speeches. Mahatma Gandhi is not known as somebody who is taking people away from this material world, from Maya, to the spiritual world, to the Adhyatmic Jagat. That is not what he is known for. So he may have done that progress, and he definitely did that progress personally, but that was simply his personal accomplishment. So he applied the true principle of Bhagavad Gita personally, but he applied, or he used the Bhagavad Gita, some of the Bhagavad Gita principles to free the nation, such as non-violence and detachment. He used those principles for the benefit, or to gain the freedom of the country, not for spiritual progress. Not at all. How many people became devotees or Vaishnavas or any kind of spiritual people who made spiritual progress out of Mahatma Gandhi's influence? Please tell me. Not many.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I understood your point of view.
Yeah. So that is not what he is known for. There may be few who are near to him by seeing his personal example, but that is not his hallmark. That is not his main reason for his why we know him, or why he's so popular and so respected. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So nice question. Now, 17.7. So in 17.7 onwards, and in the next several verses, Lord Krishna will say that what else do these modes govern? Or control or influence. So what else do these modes? So they influence whom we worship. Whatever nature we have, we worship those kind of people, and our nature gets reinforced. So it is like a cyclic effect. So what else do these modes govern? And there are 4 categories. And these 4 categories are FSAC: foods, sacrifice, austerity, and charity. So foods means ahara, sacrifice is yajna, austerity is tapa, and charity is dana. And why Lord Krishna is picking these 4 categories is that foods is our interaction with, so I will put this in red color, with our body. Sacrifice or yajnas that we do is our interaction with the universe, or with the cosmos, with the entire existence. Austerity or tapa is our interaction with our mind, mainly the mind. Later in Bhagavad Gita, in the same chapter, we will see, which also controls speech and body also, or bodily activities. And dana is our interaction with our society. So basically, how we interact with our mind, with our body, with our society, and with the cosmos. And this is our existence in this material world. So how we interact in this way is also governed by our svabhava, our nature, and the 3 modes influence that in the following way. So that is what is being said here by Lord Krishna. Aharas tvam api sarvasya trividho bhavati priyaha yagyas tapas tatha danam tesham bhedam imam shrinu. So even the food each person prefers is of 3 kinds according to the 3 modes of material nature. The same is true for sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now here of these distinctions between them. Okay. So you will see now a very, very practical. So next several verses are very, very practical instructions. And this is probably the most sort of, if you just, somebody's reading the Bhagavad Gita, one would call this as the most practical section of Bhagavad Gita where basically a prescription is given. Lord Krishna gives a prescription: do this, do this, do this, do this. And you will see a lot of do's, or the things to do and things to not do. The main point is mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness. Our goal is to move in this direction. From mode of ignorance, if we think we are there, to mode of passion. Most people, 99% people in this world today, are in mode of passion. Trying to move to the mode of goodness is the goal. So our goal is to move to mode of goodness. And Lord Krishna will describe various aspects of these three modes with respect to FSAC: food, sacrifice, austerity, charity, in each of these three modes. So you can get a very practical idea of what you can do to sort of move up in the ladder from mode of passion to mode of goodness. That is the point, to teach us how to move in this direction. So movement in this direction is the goal. Okay. So now Lord Krishna will talk about foods. And this is verse number 17.8, 17.9, 17.10. 3 verses on foods: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Very simple. Each verse for one of the modes with respect to foods. So let us see what 17.8 says. Ayuh sattva bala arogya sukha priti vivardhana rasyah snigdha sthira hridya ahara satvika priya. Okay, so these are the ahara. Ahar means foods. Satvika priya, that those who are in the mode of sattvic mode of goodness, these are the foods they eat and the benefits they get from the modes. So the foods and benefits. And this is mode of goodness. 17.8 is mode of goodness. So what are the foods? The foods are rasya. So rasya means juicy foods. Snigdha means fatty, like ghee and so on. Sthira means enduring, or things that are very healthy. And hridya means pleasing to the heart. So these are the type of foods. Now you might say, why fatty foods? We know that doctors say don't eat fat. But these foods are mentioned for healthy people. We are all, obese and sick and like that. So, for most of us, we should eat salad. That is because we have already abused the body so much. But for a perfectly healthy person, certain amounts of fat and certain amount of things that are pleasing to the heart are definitely needed for the body. So these are the foods in the mode of goodness. These are not, don't go by what is, the food recommended for a sick person. And our acharyas give in the commentaries things like milk, ghee, wheat, rice, sugar. All these fall under the category of foods in the mode of goodness. We will see in contrast in the next 2 verses the kind of foods to avoid as well. What are the benefits of such food? Ayuhu, long life. Sattva means, it promotes the mode of goodness or purity. Then bala means strength. One becomes strong on eating these kind of foods. Arogya means no disease. Sukha, happiness. And priti means satisfaction. So these are the benefits of eating these foods in the mode of goodness. Okay. And Also, these are the foods that are suitable for offering to God, offering to Krishna. So we should not offer anything that is in the mode of passion or mode of ignorance. Only sattvic food. That's why we say sattvic food we must offer to, food that has been prepared sattvically. So that is this meaning of sattvic food. 17.9. What is 17.9? Mode of passion foods and benefits. So katva amla lavana atyushana tikshna ruksha vidahinaha aharaha rajasya sya eshta dukkha shoka amaya pradaha. So what are the 7 types of food? 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to write it all down. You can read it. 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 types of food. Katva means bitter. I'll just write down a couple of them. Amla means sour, and so on. And okay, lavana means salty, and atya ushana means very hot, very, very pungent, very hot, lot of chili or lot of spice. So atya ushana means very hot. Now the third one was lavana, which means salty. But for example, pakodas are salty, isn't it? But we offer pakodas to Bhagawan. So what is the meaning of that? Should we only offer sweets to Bhagawan, not pakodas? No. So our acharyas say that this word atya applies to all 7. Though it is mentioned only for atya ushana in Sanskrit grammar, it applies, if you go by the rules of grammar, it applies to all the 7. So very salty. So you have to apply, you have to be very in front of all of these. So little bit of bitter is okay, little bit of sour or little bit of salty, little bit of pungent, all that is fine. But the excessiveness is what is mode of passion. Some people you will see while eating food, I have seen they take a big long mirchi, one very hot chili, and they will just take it like, almost like as much quantity like a sabji. It is supposed to be like little bit. Even then it burns so much they can eat one big one in one bite. So I don't know how they do that. So I'm not saying, I don't know the definition of too much. What is the meaning of very? How many it should be, 1 mirchi or 20 mirchis? I don't know. But the point is, excess of these things counts as mode of passion. Okay, so please understand that. And what it brings, dukkha, shoka, amaya. 1, 2, 3. Dukkha means misery. Shoka means sadness. And amaya means disease. So that is what these brings. And that is also true. Those who eat a lot of chili, their stomach will get ulcers and it will be a lot of problem. Too much salt, for example, causes heart problems. My father had some heart problem and the doctor said, no salt. Remove salt from your menu, or don't put salt. So salt is harmful for the heart. So like that, we understand. Okay. But the main point is very should be applied to all the 7. Otherwise, you may ask why are we offering pakoda to Bhagawan? It is in the mode of rajas. That is not true. It should not be like, excessively salty or excessively hot. It should be very mild. Okay, 17.10. This is foods in mode of ignorance. Benefits or disadvantages are not given here. So again, I should not call here benefits. These are the, what's the opposite of benefits? These are the, what should you say? Disadvantages or something like that. Or the problems, the issues with these kind of foods. So here foods in mode of ignorance, but the issues are not given here by Lord Krishna, but the foods are given. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam apicha amedhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. So those who are in mode of tamas or mode of ignorance, they like what kind of food? 6 types of food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What are these? Yata yamam. So yata yamam means which has been cooked very long time back. Basi khana, we say. So, or stale food. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, more than 3 hours old. So that is counts as stale. Okay. The word yamam means 1 prahara. And 1 prahara is 3 hours. So that is the word yama is mentioned here. Yata yamam. So yama is 3 hours in that sense. Gata rasam, which means tasteless. If you see in the mode of goodness, the word that was used was rasyaha. This is gata rasam, which means gata. The rasa has gata, gone. So which means no ras, no taste, completely tasteless. Puti means bad smelling. Paryushitam means decomposed. Uchishtam means which has been left by others. And amedhyam means basically any kind of untouchable food. So these are the 6 categories of food in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So I have a small incident I want to share with you. Like I have seen many people like uchishtam, if friends are sitting and they like, they're eating, I like your food, they'll put their spoon in their plate and just eat. So, that is not called a sattvic habit. So, you shouldn't. Now, we must accept food which has been the remnants of our guru, acharya, and of course, we accept the remnants of Bhagawan as prasad. Those are exceptions, but not from others, not from those who are not very high level advanced devotees of the Lord. Except for them, we should not do this uchishtam. Another point, one time I was forced to go to a company dinner, and they were, it was a non-vegetarian restaurant. So I had to also order something. I ordered some salad and all that. But what to do? I had to go. And they ordered all kind of, stuff. And literally, I will tell you, this is my true feeling. It was feeling like I'm sitting in a bathroom, in a public toilet. That kind of smell was coming, as if like, it is a public toilet which has not been cleaned for a week. That's the kind of, literally the kind of smell was coming like that. I don't know how people are, eating that kind of. So that falls in this category of puti, bad smelling, paryushitam, decomposed. All those things. It was very, very painful feeling, but I was forced to go. Somehow I tolerated, and it was a very horrible experience. Okay. So these are the foods in the mode of ignorance. Yes, Kiru Bakaran Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
For uchistam, does it mean like a food before being eaten? Say, for example, somebody orders 1 plate of food and shared by 3 people before they start eating. So does that come under uchistam, or is it only after somebody eats, we should not touch that food?
Yeah, I think what you are saying is okay. So as long as it has not been eaten, you can order and you can divide. That is done even in the sattvic manner. I mean, of course, everything should be offered to Bhagawan. So after it has been offered to Bhagawan, you can take it off from the Bhagawan's altar and cut it and eat it. And it goes for even sattvic foods like a big, watermelon. Nobody can eat 1 full watermelon, right? So you do share a watermelon, right? Or take an example of any big fruit or any big item. You cut it and share it. It is in the same spirit. But I have eaten like half a watermelon and you take it from my mouth and start eating it, then that is not sattvic. Okay.
Thank you.
So there is very clear examples in the sattvic, which we can extend to our modern scenario. You can order, in a sattvic restaurant, maybe a devotee restaurant, you can order 1 big kadai paneer whatever, because it is cheaper than ordering 2 small plates, maybe. So that's okay. And then you can divide it in a sattvic way. All right. Now, 17.11, 12, and 13. These are yajnas in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Okay. So what are the 3 types of yajnas? So, afala akankshabhir yagyo vidhi dvishto ya ijyate yashtavyam eveti manah samadhaya cha satvikaha. So, the various types of sacrifice or yajnas, sacrifices in the various modes. Okay. So, aphala akankshabhir yagyo. So, aphala means no phala. Akanksha, that means no desire for phala. So which means whatever yajna you are doing, and yajna means whatever work you are doing, whatever activity that you are doing, do it without the desire for material fruits. No desire. And this is goes very back basics of Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2. So aphala akankshibhir, akanksha of no phala. Aphala akanksha. All right. Vidhi dvishto ya ijyate, according to the vidhi, according to the scriptural procedures, you do the various yajnas. And yashtavyam eveti manah samadhaya sa satvikaha. By fixing the mind on the vidhi, you must do these. Okay, so the translation by Srila Prabhupada is, of sacrifices, the sacrifice performed according to the direction of scriptures as a matter of duty by those who desire no reward is the nature, or is of the nature of goodness. Okay, so no desire for material fruits and done according to scriptures. Okay. Now, please remember, scriptures talk about regulated sense gratification in the mode of goodness, dharma. So it's not, when we say scriptures, all scriptures are not bhakti scriptures, or that take us to the spiritual level. There are so many scriptures, as we have discussed previously in Bhagavad Gita. Most 90% of the Vedas are about material results, how to obtain material results, but in a regulated way. So the purpose is to go from mode of ignorance to passion, or from passion to goodness. All these are material levels, and our scriptures do teach us how to go in that direction. So when we say scripture, automatically does not mean 100% spiritual. I hope you understand that we have covered so many times, and you should have that understanding. So scriptures help to elevate us in the direction of spiritual world, but it may mean that we are going from lower to higher to higher to higher within the material realm, finally to the spiritual world. Okay. So then, according to scriptures, means it would still be in the material realm as well. Okay. All right. And here, the point is, a key point is, no desire for fruits, material fruits, for self, for myself. Okay, so one may, even higher level is, so one is to reduce our desire for fruits all the way to zero. You may desire it for others. We were talking about Mahatma Gandhi. He did such a great activity to free India all the millions of people of India benefited by his activity. So it was done for others. Of course, he was also one citizen who became free, but mainly his activity was for the rest of the people. So such benevolent activities and all these count for as mode of goodness. Then 17.11 we did, 17.12. So this is yajna or sacrifices in mode of passion. So we will see that from selfless, not for self, which means it is selfless in mode of goodness. Here we will strongly see the aspect of for myself. So let us see that. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dambhartham api chaiva yat ijyate bharata shrestha tam yagyam vidhirajasam. So abhisandhaya tu phalam. So you want the fruit, material fruits, and out of what? Dambhartham. So out of your pride, out of your desire for honor. Damba, we said, is the desire for honor. You may not have the honor today, but you do these activities so that you can get it. So you have that strong desire for my own honor, my prestige, my popularity, my whatever, my fame. So for my material progress. So desiring, so the translation is, but the sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, O chief of the Bharatas, you should know to be in the mode of passion. Okay. So that is mode of passion. And this could, in this, it could also count as activity that is done for others. But if the consciousness is, I will become popular. Now, you can argue, taking the example of Mahatma Gandhi, let us say. If Mahatma Gandhi did it selflessly with no desire for honor, only to free the people of India so that they will be happy, but nothing for himself, even his own mind, then it would be in the mode of, purely in the mode of goodness. But let us say now, I don't know what's in his mind. And everything that we know tells us that he did not do it for his own pride at all. But let us say somebody like him does it so that he will become popular. People, dig a well for the people in India. We see, people, help pay money. Big businessman pays money to dig a well. Then they put a nameplate. So and so Seth Ji Pyau. Pyau means like a, what do you say? A water fountain with a name there. That means that is when the mode of passion is kind of is included in that, because they want for their name and fame, even though they may never come and drink water from that water fountain themselves. So it is not really that they would drink water. Others are drinking. What they are drinking is the fame, their nameplate, their title that has been put on the top. That juice they are drinking. Water other people are drinking. They are drinking the juice, the nectar of popularity, the nectar of acknowledgement and fame. So that also counts as mode of passion. Okay. Then 17.13. Sacrifices in mode of ignorance. So what is sacrifices in mode of ignorance? Vidhihinam asrishtannam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. So there are the 5 qualities, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 qualities of sacrifices in the mode of ignorance. Vidhihinam. Vidhihinam means complete disregard of scripture. Asrishta annam, which means there is no distribution of anna, no charity act, no act of charity, no distribution of food. So no food or charity given in the act. Mantrahinam, no mantras have been chanted. Adakshinam, no, again, charity or dakshina or some gifts have been given to others. And shraddha virahitam means no purity or no sense of goodness. So you are doing it basically for yourself. These are the sacrifices in the mode of goodness, in the mode of ignorance. Any sacrifice performed without the regard for the direction of scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting the Vedic hymns and remuneration to the priests, and without faith is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So what is the difference? So according to devotees, between mode of passion versus mode of ignorance. Okay. In mode of passion, at least external show of goodness may be there, but internally it is for sense gratification. Okay. Just like I gave the example of somebody constructing a water filter for the public. In mode of ignorance, it is outright for one's sense gratification. There is no even a show or a pretense, or there is no even a consciousness of trying to show that you are trying to do something good. So in this case, so that is the sort of the difference between the left and the right hand side. So basically in this case, one may follow scriptures in letter, but not in spirit. Like somebody may give charity to people, somebody may give, some food, etc. But in the mind, he will select the cheapest food. He will give minimum charity to the minimum number of people, just so that you check box, just as it's a checkbox list. Here, there is no following in letter or spirit. So that is the difference. I hope you are getting the difference. Are you? Between the charity or the yajna in the mode of passion versus ignorance. Yeah. Somebody, Kirubakan Prabhu, do you get it? Your video is on, so I like it. So I can hear some, I can see some acknowledgement that it's making sense. Okay, very nice. All right. Okay, now austerity in the three modes. So austerity, Lord Krishna is going into more detail. So Lord Krishna is breaking up austerity into three parts of body, mind, and words, BMW. Okay, so he will cover the austerity in three categories: austerity of the body, mind, and words. So body is covered in, so what verse are we on? 1 second. 13, so 14. So 17.14, 15, and 16. So this is 17.14, 17.15, sorry, and 17.16. He's going in this order. Okay. So what is the austerity? So he'll define what does it mean to be austere from the body at the highest level. So basically, this is a mode of goodness definition we will see for all three first. 17.14, 15, and 16. So very, very important verses, extremely practical, very, very, very practical instructions you will see here by Lord Krishna. And I love this section, especially previous section, we don't do that many sacrifices in our life. So giving charity, giving prasad, we don't do that in our day-to-day life. Food, yes, we do in our day-to-day life. And as devotees, we should eat prasadam, but we are all anyway sick. So we are all anyway eating salad, and, we all avoid ghee and all the nice things. So that is a whole different discussion about food. Yajna, we don't do. Austerity of body, mind, and words is definitely something we can do and something we can implement. In food, for example, Lord Krishna says juicy and fatty. Now, somebody who has a heart problem because he didn't do exercise and dieting and activity throughout his life, he should not suddenly start eating fatty food. He may get a heart attack. Okay, so following Bhagavad Gita may be counterproductive for him. Take your doctor's advice also, okay, because you have so far not led a life according to Bhagavad Gita. You just cannot start in the matter of food, start it tomorrow. You might land into, it might be counterproductive. But body, mind, and words, we can start from tomorrow. So that is the beauty. So that's why these verses from 14 onwards are very, very practical, which we can apply starting from tomorrow. Why tomorrow? Starting from today itself. Okay. So mode of goodness. So Deva Dvija Guru Pragya. Wait, I'm on the right verse. 14. Yeah. So austerity of the body. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsam Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So Shariram Tapa Uchyate. Tapa means austerity of the body, Sharira. So austerity of the body, this one. Austerity of body, Shariram Tapa. So let us see what are the Shariram Tapa. There are 5 things. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first is Pujanam. Pujanam means to worship. That is the literal meaning, but we can say give a lot of respect. To whom? Deva, to the demigods. So Pujanam to further 4 entities, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Dvija means Brahmanas. Dvija means the twice born. So basically Brahmanas are known as the twice born because they get a second birth at initiation time. That's why they are called Brahmanas. They are born again because all their karma is nullified at the time of initiation by the Guru, and they get a next life, a new life with a clean slate. So that's why they are called as Dvija, twice born. So Deva, Dvija, Guru, Pragya means all other respectable people. Srila Prabhupada translated it as mother, father, and other elders. So Pujanam of these 4 types of people. So that is austerity of the body, to worship them, to pay respect to them. Today, these days, in the classroom, in the teacher, for example, it says here Guru. Now, Guru means spiritual master, but even a teacher who is teaching you mathematics or history or science is also a teacher. Here, students throw chalk. Poor teacher is teaching on the blackboard and they will throw chalk at him. So that is the respect they show to the teachers. And of course, teachers are also like that only, they don't teach nicely. They, do all kind of activities. So it's both ways. So anyway, so there is no respect. There is no pujanam. So it is an austerity to pujanam of Deva Dvija Guru Pragya. Second one is Shaucham. Shaucham means purity. Internal as well as external. Purity of mind, purity of, but here since it is body, it means external purity or cleanliness. Arjavam, simplicity. Brahmacharyam, celibacy. Now, celibacy means no illicit connections outside of marriage. In Grihasthashram, it is allowed, but outside of Grihasthashram, it is not allowed. In the other 3 ashrams, it is not allowed. Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. And even in Grihastha, it is only allowed within the bond of marriage. not outside the bond of marriage. So that is celibacy. Ahimsa, we talked about Mahatma Gandhi so much today. So ahimsa. So these are the, at a bodily level, austerities of the body. Okay, so I will rub out this cleanliness to make space for mind. Okay, so I will sort of draw a line here. Now, so these are the austerities at the bodily level. At the level of words, that is the next 17.15. So there are again 5 points here. Anudvegam karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. So very, very, very important verse. I love this one. I will talk about Bhakti Shastri also. This is if anybody is going to do Bhakti Shastri, this is going to be a sure shot question in the question paper, because this is such an important verse, that how to speak nicely, words, austerity of words. In today's world, with all the laws and everything, we cannot go and hit anybody, correct? Even these days, parent cannot hit a child. Your child will call 911 and police will come, correct? So nobody, or rarely or at all, hits anyone, but they do hit with words. With words, there is no police. At least in America, you can say whatever you want. Don't just physically harm. Okay, second or first amendment or whatever, freedom of speech and all that stuff, I can say whatever I want to anyone. It is considered legal. Okay, and that harms more, especially in friends or in relationships. Words, they say, are more, what is the thing? What's the saying? Words are more hurtful than arrows or something like that, isn't it? So how to be, what is the austerity of words? How to control your speech? Vacho vegam. We will study in Nectar of Instruction for Bhakti Shastri. So anyway, so 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very, very, very important verse, 17.15. 5 items are here. Anudvega karam, which means not agitating. 2, both me and other. Okay, why me? Later on, we feel agitated. Oh, why did I say? At the time of saying impulsively, we feel very strong. Bol diya, I said it. I gave him a piece of my mind, we say. That's the phrase. I gave him a piece of my mind. But if that person is close to you, if you don't care, you will continue to feel happy that you won. I am victorious. I am the winner. But if that person is close to you, the relationship sours, all those things happen. And then you are also agitated. You hope or you wish somehow you can take back the words. But once said, cannot be taken back. So very careful in saying, especially to friends and people close to you. Anudvega karam. Satyam, truthful. Okay. Priyam. Priyam means sweet words. Sweet words. Hitam, which means beneficial. And swadhyaya abhyasanam, and study of scriptures. That is austerity of words. So now the 5th one is a separate category. First 4 you can implement in your relationships with others or how you interact with others. Okay. The 5th one is personal. The word itself is swa adhyaya. Swa means my adhyaya. Okay. So that is personal or private. The first 4 are with other people, especially those who you care about, your friends, your relatives, colleagues, neighbors, whoever you care about. And even if you don't care about them, even if they are strangers, be nice, in any way. So one of the, I feel, or according to me, in my, or at least in my personal life, this beneficial is very important. I use it as a litmus test. Please, I'm just sharing with you how I try to apply. If you want to say something, okay, is it benefiting the other person? Is it somehow of benefit to the other person? Maybe even communicating what you are like feeling. Let's say I felt bad that you said so and so. You are at least communicating, you are in a nice way, you are communicating for his benefit, that he should not, do something like that again to you. That is also for his benefit or for the benefit of the relationship. Okay. But always think that, am I the only beneficiary? Neither the relationship is benefiting, not the other person is benefiting. I am the only beneficiary. In that case, try to avoid. That is also austerity, isn't it? It is detachment, because it is same concept. Our attachments, what I will get, what I will get, what I will get. If anything that you are saying is about, now it doesn't mean that child should not ask mother, give me food. So don't be, don't take it to extremes. Child should definitely ask mother, give me food. That is for me only. But you get the point, say things which always evaluate. I use this litmus test. Is it really going to benefit the relationship, or is it going to sour the relationship? Or is it going to let the relationship be neutral? It is very transactional. Prabhu, when are you leaving? Can I get a ride with you? That is a nice, just transactional. So that's not what we are talking about. So you get the point what I'm saying. If it is not beneficial to them, or if you think it is feeding your own sense gratification, don't say it. Just restrain. Leave it out. After 5 minutes, or after you have slept over it for one night, you will feel happy that you didn't say it. Isn't it? How many of you have felt that feeling that I wish I would have just had I would have waited for some time before saying, it would have been so much better. Isn't it? Yeah. So some devotees are raising their hands. And then this one, saying it sweetly, is an art. If you have to give some feedback, if you have to, say something, let us say it is very necessary, saying it in a very sweet way is a very, very big art. I have not learned it, by the way, yet. But I have seen people, many people who have learned this. And I want to say one thing, my boss at work, he has mastered this art. He is an expert, very, very gentle, and he's a thorough gentleman. And he knows even how to say, problematic things like, oh, did this need to be done or whatever. But he will say in a very nice way that the other person feels empowered. Other person feels that, yes, oh, he's giving me some feedback, but his motive is not to be mean, to, to kind of put me down, but his motivation is for the good of the company, for the good of the project, for everybody's good, very good intentions. So like that, seeing the things that are sweet. Truthful also has many levels. Again, I don't want this to become a class on just speech or words, but this is such an important topic. Truthful, at certain times, it may be okay to tell a lie. Okay, so for example, if there is this story in the, that I have heard in many classes, that a person is being chased by robbers, and he comes and hides in your house, and some robbers are coming and trying to kill him. They come to you and say, have you seen somebody come this way? If you say, yeah, he came and he's hiding there, then they will go and kill him. But if you say that, no, I didn't see anyone, it's a lie, but it saved the life. So in that case, a lie is allowed. So therefore, good knowledge, now that's a very straightforward, very simple example. It's black and white. Many situations that we face in our life are not so black and white as to when we think it's okay to lie, not to lie. So if in case of doubt, which means it is gray area, it's not as black or white, side with truth. If you do not have the depth of understanding of Shastra, that what should I do? Either if you have a guru, or a mentor, spiritual mentor, go ask if there is time to decide. If somebody is, if the dacoits are coming, they are not going to wait. You will not say, if they ask you, have you seen someone? You will say, wait a minute, let me go ask my guru and then I will answer you. They will first kill you only. So in some situations, there may not be a time to, you may have to take an instant decision. But if you have time, consult spiritual authorities. If you do not have spiritual authorities, or you yourself do not have the understanding of scriptures nicely, err on the side of truth. Okay, but 99%, and that is only in very exceptional cases, 99% of the cases, or 0.99% of the cases, are truth only. These very, very, very rare cases where you can even imagine that telling a lie or half truth is also counts as lie. Okay, so is beneficial. You must always, 99.99% is truthful, must be truthful. Okay, but I'm giving a exception. There are exceptional scenarios where it is shastrically it is allowed, but for that you need to have good understanding of Shastra, or a person who has good understanding of Shastra who can guide you. Okay. Now, very important is study of scriptures. This is extremely important. This also Lord Krishna has added to austerity of words or speech. To study scriptures and to recite scriptures is or counts as an activity, or is a austerity of words. So we must all try to do that more and more. So you are all studying Bhagavad Gita. So just I wanted to announce this. There is a deeper level of study of Bhagavad Gita in a course called Bhakti Shastri. I might have spoken about it before. Many of you already know about it. Many of you are doing it, are participating in this series and are aware of it. So here we study Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is 50% of the overall content, plus 3 more smaller books. All these make up the remaining 50%. And you will study Bhagavad Gita and the 3 other books, Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad, and Nectar of Devotion. These 3 other books we will study. There will be tests, homeworks. It's a very, very rigorous course, and you'll have to memorize the verses, and you will have to be able to recite them. So all these things are, it's a much deeper, very, very, it requires serious commitment. So I have few spots available. If you are seriously interested to do this in-depth level course, which counts as sva-adhyaya, then you can contact me, you can let me know. And plus, it requires you to be chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, which takes approximately 1.5 to 2 hours daily. So that is the sadhana part you must be doing. So it's a very rigorous requirement. If you are interested in this, you can contact me. The benefits are great. There are a lot of benefits of doing this. One can become a very strong, very serious devotee by doing this. But don't jump into it impulsively. Think about it and only then join, if you would like to. There are other ways of becoming a very serious devotee also. This is not the only way, okay? But this is one of the ways, a more sort of a guided and a what you call step-by-step or a guided way. So yes, that opportunity is available. Okay, I'm going to keep going. If there are any questions, you can stop me. So we covered up to 16. So that was austerity of speech. Oh, now we will cover austerity of the mind. So here. So again, 5 items are there. So all these things have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I will remove this arrow just in case. So 5 items. Manah prasadha saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhir ityetat tapo manasam uchyate. So what are the 5 things? Manah prasada means satisfaction of the mind. Okay. Then saumyatvam. Saumyatvam means that simplicity in one's thinking. Simplicity in thinking, not like scheming. I will do this. Oh, he said this. I will reply like this. And then when he will reply like that, I will then reply like this. All the scheming you are doing, you are thinking so much of how to manipulate somebody, of how to, maneuver and, play with people in that sense. All this you are going on in your mind. And when all this is going on in your mind, then Bhakti or Krishna is not in your mind. So all the scheming and all this should not be there. Simplicity of thinking. Thinking should be simple so that you are done with it. Why you have to spend 20 hours trying to scheme how to write one email or one text message? Whatever you have to write, write it and send it. Finish. Honestly, truthfully, nicely, according to the words. Pleasing to others, not agitating, beneficial and truthful. Maunam. Maunam means most of the time try to stay quiet. Don't be the most, you don't have to, always this chatter of the mind. Let your mind be calm. So calmness of mind. Maunam. Prabhupada has translated it as gravity. So gravity means thinking about bigger things. Thinking about how can I improve my bhakti, how can I improve my spiritual life, not about thinking constantly about other things. Let your mind be free and calm from all material things. Atma vinigraha means, again, similar things. Purification of one's self-control. So yeah, self-control. And the 5th one is bhava samshuddhir, is purification of existence. There are some fine differences between each of these. I'm not going to go into that. I have to again also read the commentaries by various acharyas in detail to kind of find out the finer differences. But you get some of the main points. If you're getting some of the main points, that itself is very nice. Okay. All right. So that is austerity in the mode of, so all these are austerity in the mode of goodness. So whatever we have written here, 5 points, 5, 5, 5, 15 points are austerity of body, mind, and words in the mode of goodness, because these are the standard, the highest standard. Now Lord Krishna so we covered till where? 16. So 17, 18, and 19. So 17.17, 17.18, and 17.19. Lord Krishna will cover austerity in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance in general terms. Okay, in general terms, he will cover specific points he has already given in the previous 3 verses. And I will tell you how you can apply those points to the 3 modes. So I will just go with the translation in English just for sake of time. This threefold austerity performed with transcendental faith, Shraddhaya Paraya, that is the Sanskrit. So Paraya means outside of this material world, Para. So transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefits, but engaged only for the sake of supreme, is called austerity in goodness. Okay. So what is being said here is in mode of goodness, 17, sorry. So let me summarize this, 17.17, austerity in mode of goodness. So I will break it down into 3 levels: body, mind, oops, what's happening? And words. Okay, body, mind, words. So at the bodily level, worship Krishna with your body, respect Guru, be clean, simple, and yeah, clean and simple all the time, even when no one is watching. Okay, not only when others are watching, but even when no one is watching. So at a bodily level, do this. Now, this is basically a summary. In passion and ignorance, it will be a little more, but we have already covered this in the previous 3 verses. Okay, at the mind level,
also non-violence.
yeah, non-violence also. Violence. Okay, be simple. I'm just summarizing here. Okay, simple, calm, controlled, knowing that Krishna is the ultimate controller. This is very, very important. You may try to scheme in your mind, I will say this, I will say that. All of that could go waste. Everything could go waste because Krishna is the ultimate controller. As I told some time ago, I'm reading Mahabharata, for example, these days, as a hobby, not as a serious study, just as a hobby, to few pages or something. Duryodhana wanted to poison Bhima. So he fed him poison. I'm telling very short. And then he tied him with ropes and put stones, tied him to stones and threw him in the river after he had become unconscious, so that he will definitely die. A sure short way to kill somebody is to first give him poison. Once he has become unconscious, tie him up, put stones, throw in the river. What happened was he was thrown into the river. The Nagas caught him and they took him away. And when the Nagas bit him, the Nagas thought he's a attacker. Their poison caused an antidote to the poison that was given by Duryodhana. So first of all, he became fine. And then when he went there, I forget the name, there was a person, somebody who realized that Bhima is a relative. So they gave him special drink to drink in the Nagaloka, which is below the rivers, and his strength became 1,000 times. So Duryodhana, who was trying to kill Bhima, ended up strength. Not only he was saved, his strength multiplied 1,000 times. Okay, so you can come up with the best scheme, but if Krishna is the, has his shelter on you, it could have the 100% opposite effect. Okay, so knowing this, we can keep our mind simple. Okay, let him worry about, he's the greatest schemer. Let him scheme. My job is to do my bhakti. So that way, with that confidence, we can do our spiritual progress with a very calm and cool mind. So that is austerity in the mode of goodness of the mind. And then words, again, speaking truth, speaking nicely for others' benefit. Okay, sweetly, nicely, same thing. And study of Shastra. Okay, so in study of Shastra, it is to enable our plus others' spiritual progress. First ours, then others. Okay. Again, we discussed Mahatma Gandhi. Himself, he must have done a lot, not so much for others. At least it is not very, that's not the thing we know about him. Okay. We know him more for his freedom fight, father of the nation. So for ourselves and also for others, acharyas and devotees, they do it for others as well. Okay. Then this was 17.17. 17.18. Austerity in mode of passion. So that was mode of goodness, which was summary of previous 3 verses, more or less. Now let us see mode of passion. 18. Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent. So satkar, man, puja, artham. 3 things. Satkar, man, puja, artham. Puja means not that you are doing puja. You are expecting puja. Others will worship me. So austerity of all these things, like we said, body, mind, and words. You are doing it to gain the 3 benefits. What are those 3 benefits? Satkar, which is respect. Man means honor. And puja means worship. To get these things, you are doing these 3 things. Basically, what it means, it's a pretense. You don't really mean it. It's just a show. So for show, when you are doing it, to obtain this. So doing the above, which means 17.17, to get this respect, honor, worship, in order to, I will say this, in order to, hetu. There is a hetu there. Hetu means in order to, for some material benefit, for my honor, my respect. This is my. That is big time here. My respect, my honor, my worship. So when you are doing any of those things with this consciousness, it is in the mode of passion. Okay. So how can we apply this in BMW? Body, mind, and words. So just to quickly summarize, body. You are respecting Guru. You are respecting, you are trying to be simple and clean and all that, so that people will say, oh, he's such a respectful person. He gives so much respect to others. But when no one is looking, then you don't feel like, when in the temple, we have a vigraha or deity form of Srila Prabhupada. So every time you come into the temple, you're supposed to pay respect to Srila Prabhupada. But when the temple is full of people, you will come and pay respect for 1 minute as if you are like so devoted. But when there is nobody looking, then you will just ignore Prabhupada. That is mode of passion, right? So you are doing it for respect, honor, and worship. So that is body, mind. I don't need to over explain, but you get the point. Okay. So body, mind, and words. When you do those things for expecting this. Yes, Manoj Prabhu, you have your hand up.
Yes, Prabhu, I have a question when you have a minute.
Let me finish 19, then I'll take your question.
Yeah, okay.
So last one, 17.19, austerity in mode of ignorance. Okay. So penance performed out of foolishness. Self-torture. To harm, or Srila Prabhupada says, destroy or injure others. So these 3 things. Mudha grahena. Mudha grahena. Mudha means under the influence of foolishness. Atmano yat, for me, for myself. Atmano yat pidaya. So for my self-torture, this is Atmano Pidaya. You will torture yourself. And Kriyate Tapaha Parasya Otsadana Artham. Parasya, for somebody's, Otsadan means for killing. So for basically destroying or injuring others. Parasya Otsadanartham va tata tamasam udahritam. So that is in the mode of ignorance. So for BMW, what it could mean? So for body, it could be like too much torture, self-torture on your own self. So you can read you can see in the scripture how much he tortured himself. He was doing this tapasya for 10,000 years. His whole body was destroyed. Only the skeleton was left. And then Brahmaji came and, gave him a strong body. So body, at a bodily level, self-torture. Mind. So self-control is there only till the point you get what you want. After that, it is all full of oppression and overpowering others and, like that. So at a mind level, it is only to be able to oppress others. And words, at a words level, it could be, to say extremely bad things, or in the, extreme case, to say maybe even some tantric verses to harm others, to kill others. All these things are words in the mode of ignorance. So and some of the biggest aggressors are very austere themselves, like Hitler, for example, was supposed to be very austere. He was not a very big on personal sense gratification. He had one steady wife, or at least mistress, whom he married before his death, Eva Braun or something. He was vegetarian. He used to eat very less. And so many of these bodily aspects were there, but he was a very big demon. Many of these terrorists and all these things, they live in very austere conditions, but their mentality is to destroy others. So like that, we can see that is austerity in the mode of ignorance. Yes, Manoj Prabhu, your question.
Prabhuji, in the last verse, you say worship, expecting worship. What does expecting worship means? When we worship God, then we worship Him. Patram puspam phalam toyam. What does worship signify here?
Worship signifies an act of worship. It is a expanded form of honor and respect, much more amplified. So when you come, people will shower flowers on you, or even if you
follow me.
Huh?
Follow my words, or follow me, like that.
Yeah, that could also mean, but worship could mean like, if you are a very, very important person in the society or something, because of your show, because of your pretense, people are worshiping you, or you expect people to worship you, like people to show excessive amount of respect. Like you come late and there is no seat left. Everybody gets up and gives you the best seat. Please come and sit here. Like that, it happens. You can see that in the society. Okay. But you may know or not know that that person is really not a person of good character, let alone a spiritual person, not even in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, okay.
So they do a lot of things for name's sake, and the expectation is that they will get a lot of honor, respect, and worship. And if they don't get it, they might take it out on you. They might harm you, or they might, whatever their position is. Let us say they promised some donation to you, then they will cancel the donation, or whatever may be the situation, because they did not receive top class worship.
Okay, Prabhuji, I got it. I thought so, just I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Then we have charity. So we will cover this next time. charity in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So that is, so what verse was this? 19. So 17.20, 21, 22. So these three verses will cover charity or dana. Dana in the mode of goodness, passion. This is also very important. So I don't want to rush it today because we are out of time. But we will cover it in some detail. 10, 15 minutes we will spend on these three things, because charity is something we all do and we should do, and how to do the proper charity. So we will see that. And then the final 6 verses, 17.23 to 17.28, 6 verses, Lord Krishna will say, rise above the 3 modes, just like chapter 14. Chapter 14 was also about 3 modes. But what does he say? That you must become guna atita, which means go beyond the gunas, the 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So here also he will say exactly the same thing, that I have explained you all these things, but try to do these things with a spiritual consciousness. And that he will introduce in the last 6 verses. So we should still continue to do these 4 things: foods, ahara, yagya, tapa, dana. We should continue to do these, but with a spiritual consciousness, and that will lead to moksha or liberation. So that is the spiritual path that Lord Krishna will introduce, or not introduce, he has already mentioned, but he will emphasize that in the last 6 verses. That will be the end of chapter 17. So next week, we will definitely complete chapter 17, and maybe we will start with 18 also, last chapter. So then Friday will be, so I'm thinking of something, doing some sort of a new sort of thing on Friday. I'm still not decided, but it will be a very nice engagement for sincere, serious devotees like yourselves, who have been so nicely engaged in the discussion of Bhagavad Gita for so many months or years. I can say almost 1.5 years it has been, more than that. So something nice to keep everybody, fixed. And also on Saturdays, we already have our wonderful, we used to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we discussed Ishopanishad. We are starting the next book, which is Nectar of Instruction or Upadeshamritam. Then we will discuss Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first 19 chapters. And then we will go back to Bhagavatam again. So Saturday Sangha Satsang will continue for whenever Krishna, till whenever Krishna allows. We will continue the Saturday discussions. And Friday, we will see what else to do. Sunday, we have already started a new batch, what I'm calling the fast-paced batch. I'm getting a lot of feedback that it is a little too fast, but that is the nature, I have done the long one. And so when it is very long, then people say it is very long. When it is fast, then it says very fast. So, that's the nature of material world. Nobody is ever happy. So anyway, so now I can say, okay, you want slow, then it is there on YouTube. Oh, you want fast, now you can come on Sunday. So now we can, satisfy hopefully all kind of requests. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I'll keep you updated. Yes, if you are interested in doing Bhakti Shastri, please let me know. It is a rigorous course, like I described, but the benefits are also equally great. So please consider it. No rush. And I'm in not trying to sell. I have enough students in the ongoing batch, so I am pleasantly busy. So please approach me if you have a sincere desire. I will be more than happy to discuss it with you. Any last minute questions?
In 17.12.
17.12?
17.12.
Yeah.
It is said that you should not do any prayer or any worship with the demand. And Raja Dasharath, he done Putreshti Yajna for son, and he got Rama as his son. So what may be the condition of such spiritual worshipping for with the demand also? I want to just tell you.
Yeah, so these are very deep topics. I do not know the history of Maharaj Dasharath. Okay. But so there are, whenever the Lord takes birth, it is not material. And even though externally it may look material, it is never material at all. Okay. That we must understand. So I do not know the history. I have not read Ramayana so deeply, but I can tell you, for example, in the Srimad Bhagavatam on the birth of Lord Shri Krishna, Vasudeva and Devaki were not aware that in the previous life, they had wanted the Lord to be their child, and they had done great amount of tapasya for that. And then when the Lord appeared, they requested for the Lord to be their child. And he said, you know what? Not only once, I will be your child 3 times. So he gave them triple benefit, or triple, so to say, benediction. So the 3rd time, first was Prishni Garbha, then Vamana Dev as the son of Aditi and Kashyap Muni, and finally as son of Devaki and Vasudev ji. And then he reminded them that in your previous births, you were Sutapa and Prishni, then you were Kashyap and Aditi, now you are Devaki and Vasudeva. And you had desired me to have your son back then, and this is the 3rd time I am appearing as your son. So they did not, at least from the Srimad Bhagavatam, of course they were great devotees, but they were not expecting the Lord to appear as their son. But the Lord appeared as their son and explained them the reasoning behind it as well, as to why they are getting the Lord as their son. So similarly might have been the situation in Ramayana. I am not very conversant with that, but whenever the Lord appears, it is it's a great spiritual benediction which cannot happen out of material desires. Just cannot. Impossible. Material desires do not lead to such a wonderful spiritual position of being the parent of Bhagawan. So therefore, definitely there must have been a historical background, which I am not aware of. We must, but your pretext of your question was that they wanted a child, and it is material.
Because
the consciousness.
Yajna, they did Yajna.
Yeah, that's
for that.
That is okay. That's okay. That happens to be just the instrument, the sort of the immediate reason. But there is always a past background. Okay, just like Devaki and Vasudev, they had an 8th child. They were also aware that we will have 8 children because this Akashvani happened when they were married. Everybody heard it, including Kamsa, Devaki, Vasudev. Everybody heard that 8th child of Devaki will kill you. So they knew they were going to have 8 children, and you know, that was the, so yeah, so that is the immediate reason, but there is a background reason.
Thank you.
That is just an instrument.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other examples. Yeah, nothing is coming to my mind right now, but yeah, okay. All right, anything else?
Prabhuji, I have just one question, not related to the topic or chapter we covered today. You just talked about Devaki and Vasudev. So just a curiosity which is coming into my mind, that they were great souls, because they got, God to take birth from there. Then what caused them to suffer so much?
Caused them to suffer.
Yeah, I mean, they were in jail and
Yeah.
their 7 kids were killed.
True. So devotees never suffer, never. Like that, we can also ask Pandavas, why did they suffer? Isn't it? Why did Mother
Yeah.
Sita suffer? She is the wife of Lord Ramchandra. All the devotees suffer. Almost majority will suffer. Even Srimati Radharani, all the gopis, they suffered in separation. Lord Krishna left them, isn't it? So that is basically to there are several reasons which I the bhakti in separation is the best or the strongest. That is point number one. Now, that is a very deep point. There can be many hours of discussion on just this topic of separation. It invokes a much stronger level of bhakti within the heart of a devotee. The devotee never suffers so the way to understand from our standpoint, we think if I was in that situation, I would suffer. Therefore, he must be suffering. We measure their suffering based on our level of tolerance. Their level of tolerance is infinitely more than ours. Okay. So, like if you have a small child, if he gets, little bit hurt by, while he's walking, he hits a table, he will start crying as if he has fallen from a roof. If you get hurt in that way, you will not even notice, you will continue to walk, isn't it? So you will say, "Kyun ro rahe ho? Why are you crying? It's just a small thing." For him, it is as if he is, he's about to die. That is because for an adult, the level of tolerance is much more than of a child. Similarly, between a devotee and a normal person like myself or others, there is huge difference in the level of tolerance. The devotees never suffer, never. The Lord only gives the suffering to the devotee as a way to teach us that how the devotees respond when they are put into trouble. And all the devotees, when they are put into trouble, they always think of the Lord. So the Lord uses them as instruments to teach us how we should behave. What are our role models? We were talking about role models. These devotees should be our role models as to how to accept some real suffering that may come in our life by following the footsteps of these devotees, rather than following Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and all those people. So these are some of the reasons the devotees never suffer, never at all suffer. Okay. There is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a episode where a great devotee of the Lord, Haridas Thakur, he was Muslim by birth. Okay. And he was a great devotee of the Lord, and he would constantly chant the name of Krishna. So the local ruler was a Muslim. So he says, "You are a Muslim and you are chanting Krishna's name. You are committing such a great offense." And he ordered him to be punished, to be beaten to death. So the order was to kill him by beating. Okay. Very torturous way of dying. So the soldiers kept beating him, and he was just chanting the name, and he was not feeling anything. The soldiers got tired. Their hands got hurt so much by beating him. They pleaded to him, "Why you are not even crying?" He says, "I am not feeling anything. What do you want me to do?" They said, "You pretend to die. We will throw you in the river. You just die." He said, "Okay, I will die." So he's a great devotee. He just, went into samadhi. They threw him in the river. And later on, he became conscious and he came out. And later on, he went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet him. And the Lord Chaitanya was in a lot of pain. Please try to understand. And he was asking, "My Lord, why are you in so much pain?" Then he opened his chadar and showed all the marks on his body. He said, see, I have been beaten so much. He says, who beat you? So then he reveals that, remember when you were being beaten, you were taking my name and there is no difference between me and my name. So I covered you. And I was covering you and I was getting all the beating. And that is why I am in pain. And you did not even know. So literally Haridas Thakur was beaten so much and he did not even realize that he was beaten because he was covered by the Lord. Same situation with Prahlad and all the devotees. So when devotees suffer, we should never, there was a very nice video recently, not recently, but a couple of years ago, when a great devotee of the Lord in modern times, Pankajangri Prabhu, he has been a pujari, very, very sincere pujari at Mayapur temple for 40 years or 50 years. He passed away because of COVID. He got COVID and he passed away so many times. Some devotees' confidence of faith is shaken. He is serving the Lord in Mayapur for 40, 50 years. How can he die out of COVID? If he can also die, then what is the meaning of bhakti? And so many senior devotees gave so many wonderful classes that devotees never suffer. We feel that if I am in that position, I would suffer. But if you ask them, and Pankajangri Prabhu, if you see in his last moments, he was very calm and very peaceful, very, there was no distress on his face. You could see that. Just even a few days or few hours before his passing. So devotees never suffer, and the Lord gives them the strength to the protection and the strength. So we must never think like that. Our goal should be to become pure devotees of the Lord. There is no suffering in that. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Somebody else raised their hand but then lowered it. I don't know.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
I'm
Krishna.
Priyanka.
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Prabhuji. Neeru Mataji asked one question ki why Devaki Mata suffered so much. So one time I hear Amog Leela Prabhuji's katha. That time Amog Leela Prabhuji's explained ki why Devaki is suffering that 12 years in jail, and because the Devaki Mataji is past birth. She is a Kekai Mataji. Kekai.
Okay.
So because last birth she gave him like 12 years vanvas and all those stuff. So that's why this janam she is Kekai and she suffered 12 years. And that 12 years that Yashoda Mata Yashoda Mataji is Kaushalya. So because she lived with without him, that's why that what she is Yashoda Maiya and she is Kekai Mataji. Like that I heard. So I don't know, but yeah, I just think I ask you.
One very
Hare
nice.
Krishna,
I have
Prabhuji.
also heard that. Thank you for sharing that, Mataji. If it is
Yeah.
possible, please send me a link to that video. This point has come up in some other forums also, but what I have heard is that this does not have Shastric backing.
Okay.
So if Amog Leela Prabhu, who is a very, very senior and respectable devotee, that's why I'm asking if he actually said it or you heard it from someone who heard from someone who heard from Amog Leela Prabhu. I would like to see that. But because I have also heard that this is a more like a folklore, but it seems, again, I have not read all the Shastra, but it seems that this is not present somewhere in the Shastra. But again, I don't know. It seems like a reasonable, explanation. So there is nothing wrong about it, or it's not against the principles. It may be aligned. So yes. So please, if possible, if you still remember which video you heard, I would like to get that. Actually, it will be for my benefit also, because I just heard two things. I heard one explanation and I heard some very equally respected devotees say that this is not present in the Shastra. I don't know which one to go with. So if in future I get asked this question, then I'll be able to authoritatively answer. At least if Amoghleela Prabhu has said, I respect him a lot. So I will at least have that confidence that he definitely said it. So if you find it, please send me. I would like to.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
But thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. Anything else? All right, then we will end it here. We will see you next week. We'll complete 17th chapter, maybe start with 18th also. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.